Well, a good Friday morning. Apologies for some technical difficulties with the First Alert Weather Extra earlier on. But we're back and we're going to track a few things here today. First is that today is another warm, humid day, but overall no major weather issues. However, the big question that I'm sure everybody is asking about is the weekend forecast and the chance of showers and storms. We'll likely have storms to track tomorrow evening and into Sunday morning. And we'll talk about the timing and details of some of those in a few minutes. We're also not done tracking the chance of rain, because rain chances return by the middle of next weekend, possibly a good coverage with a stronger cold front. So we are going to continue to talk about all of those in the next 10 to 15 minutes. But for this morning, though, things have been generally quiet. We have partly to mostly cloudy skies, even though temperatures are starting to warm up. We also have had a couple of showers pop up earlier on this morning, just after 10 o'clock. We had a couple of showers in Allen Parish, and we could see a couple of spotty showers try to develop at times today. But overall, I think for the most part here, things are going to remain on the quiet side as far as rain. We'll leave a 20% chance of rain in the forecast to account for a couple of spotty showers. That is about it. Here's the latest visible satellite. Again, this is just after 10:15, the latest image at the end of the loop. And you can make out a lot of cloud cover across the area, but a few breaks of sun, and anybody that receives sunshine, of course, will warm on up quickly. So temperature-wise, again, this is just after 10:15. Already we were into the mid-70s in some parts of the area, 76 in DeRidder to 75 in Jennings, 75 degrees as well in Lake Charles. That is with a breezy southeasterly wind picking up, sustained at 14 miles per hour, and as we head into the afternoon, we'll likely have winds gusting between 20 to 25 miles per hour. So make sure that if you are doing anything outdoors, you, for one, keep an eye to the sky with a couple showers possible, and don't forget to account for the wind, since you probably don't want your hat to blow down the street or anything like that. So let's take a look at the afternoon here, starting, again, this is late this morning on Featurecast. It does show more clouds breaking up. I'll admit it may be a little bit too early with how much sunshine it shows. Either way, I still think we're on track for temperatures to warm into the low 80s during the middle part of the day. Again, a couple showers could certainly take place. The model shows them taking place just outside of our viewing area, but an isolated shower or two overhead cannot be ruled out. Still, it's really going to be the breezy weather the main issue if you do have any outdoor plans. And a similar story for this evening. No major weather concerns if you are going out to do anything tonight. Now, as we head overnight, clouds return. We'll rinse, wash, and repeat the same exact thing. And at least for the morning hours tomorrow, I think we'll have a very similar start to the day. With that being said, our attention remains on the next cold front. It is taking shape right now off to the west over into Texas, and that is what is going to bring the next chance for showers and thunderstorms, especially tomorrow night. So here's that front. It gets a bit closer as we head into the next day. The big question mark in the forecast is how close to us in southwest Louisiana does that front make it before it stalls out, because if it stalls near or closer to the area, that means we could have a pretty good coverage of rain and possibly even some decent rainfall amounts as well. So if this model is to be believed, then that is a scenario that would take place. So let's take a closer look at that model. This is one of the shorter term models we like to use to graph whenever we get into range of some of these weather events. And again, I'll actually I will go back a little bit on the time here, just to give you an idea of what's happening before. So this is about Saturday morning and afternoon. So we're going to go ahead and show you the morning hours. Again, not a whole lot is going on. So if you have any outdoor plans through at least the early afternoon, a couple of passing showers could be out there, but really, we're not looking too bad at all. So I still think there's going to be times to get outside and enjoy time tomorrow. Just keep an eye on the sky, especially later in the afternoon when we could see a few more showers begin to pop up after 4 or 5 o'clock. Beyond that, here's what we're starting to track. That cold front begins to approach our area. There will likely be a line of showers and thunderstorms ongoing in Texas tomorrow evening, and that begins to approach after 9 o'clock. So that's what we are going to continue to keep an eye on. Again, this is contingent on the front actually getting close enough to provide us showers and storms. Right now, it does look like that indeed will be the case. But again, we'll be here tomorrow night to keep an eye on the progress of storms. That line will likely continue drifting southeastward as we head after 10 o'clock or so through midnight. Overall, most models show that line weakening a little bit since we are talking about an overnight type of scenario here. With that being said, we are going to have to keep an eye on if any thunderstorms with that batch of rain can hold together, because if so, there is a low but not zero chance of a strong to severe thunderstorm. I do think the greater odds of that would likely be north of Interstate 10, and you can see that on the model here. Those storms are being a little bit more impressive and well put together until they get to the I-10 corridor and then beginning to weaken after that. So again, we'll be here tomorrow night to keep an eye on things. But we may not be done with the rain. Some models, including this one, show the potential for another round of rain as we head into Sunday morning, although this one quickly weakens that round of rain because things would be a little bit cooler behind the rain that would take place overnight. So we'll still keep an eye on that. I do think by Sunday afternoon, we should begin to dry things out. So even Sunday is not looking like an all-day rain event or a washout, but I would continue to keep a close eye on the sky, and the morning through early afternoon, I think on Sundays when we would see a better chance of having some showers and storms around. So that's the timing aspect of this. Now, there is still a low chance of an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm, especially to the west in Texas. I think the greater chances of seeing severe weather altogether will remain over into Texas, since they'll have those storms during the day. But our chances here are not zero either. And again, I think the slightly higher chance would be near and north of Interstate 10. So if we do see an isolated severe thunderstorm, I do think it would be strong winds the main impact, possibly damaging winds as well. It's also not out of the question there could be some hail associated with some of these storms as we head into tomorrow night. So we'll keep an eye on that. The tornado threat, of course, whenever you talk about severe weather, you can never discount the chance of seeing a brief spin-up tornado. But I want to make something clear. This is not the same setup that we saw on Valentine's Day that brought the really widespread severe weather. That I do not think is in the cards this time around. But even still, I would encourage you to stay weather aware tomorrow evening and tomorrow night. Make sure that you have ways to receive weather warnings in case any are issued. And of course, having the First Alert weather app downloaded is one of them. I do want to show you another model here that will take us through the showers and storms we are expecting. This is the latest HRRR model, another one of the short-term models that we use, especially when we are talking about thunderstorms. And again, we'll take you through this evening and today. Not a whole lot going on. And then as we had, let me make sure. Okay, good. I just want to make sure that you guys can actually see this. But again, not a whole lot going on aside from a couple of showers today and tonight. We head into the morning hours tomorrow, and even still, not a whole lot through 1 o'clock. The model here, this one does show a few more streamer showers, what we call showers that develop and move in from the Gulf. So again, I do want to stress that if you have any outdoor plans, keep an eye on the sky tomorrow. But even still, these showers on the model would be pretty short-lived, at least through the early afternoon. So I think the morning and early afternoon again tomorrow is your time for outdoor plans. But as far as the actual chance that thunderstorms go, it shows them developing off to the north and to the west over into southeast Texas. This is around 9 o'clock in the evening tomorrow, and you are going to notice that line of showers and storms developing kind of where that arrow is. And then as we head after that, they do begin to drift down into our area closer and just before the midnight. So this model is a little bit quicker on the idea of storms developing, which we're going to have to pay attention to as well. If storms can develop a little bit quicker when things are a bit warmer, Sure, perhaps that means it'd be a little bit easier to get a couple of strong to severe thunderstorms going. But as I wanted to stress earlier, I do not think this is going to be a repeat of what we had on Valentine's evening. And what I'm going to show you now is a section. This is something that we look at, and it gives us an idea of what's going on in the atmosphere above our heads. So what you have here, this is called a sounding. It shows a couple of things. It shows the winds as you go upwards in height. So at the bottom of the screen, let me make sure that you guys can see it. At the bottom of the screen here, this is the ground level where this, oopsie, let me get, come on, Eric, I know you can do it. Maybe not. Wherever the arrow is, it's not wanting to behave right now. That's unfortunate, but at the bottom of the picture, that's the ground level. So you have your wind barbs on the right side of that graphic, and the farther up on the page you go, the farther up in the atmosphere you're going. So the reason why I don't think we're expecting a repeat of what we had 2 weeks ago is because we don't have quite as much wind shear in the atmosphere. That's the measure of how quickly the winds increase with height, how strong they become the farther up in the atmosphere you go. And also it's a measure of the change in direction of those winds. So we look at that, we look at the product on the right-hand side of the screen. It says shear 200 to 850 millibars. That value is at 37 knots. So that tells us that as you go up into the atmosphere, your winds are increasing by 37 knots. When we had that strong to severe weather event on Valentine's Day, that was in the order of 50, 60, 70 knots. So right near, even right there, that's a pretty big difference. The other one, the other number here that we tend to look at in severe weather events is something called storm relative helicity. It's called SRH. It's the numbers on the top of those, on the number box on the right-hand side of the screen. And all that is really is just a measure of how much rotation there is in the atmosphere, or the ability of thunderstorms to rotate. Those numbers tomorrow on the model are about 100. About 100 is what the value of that storm relative helicity is tomorrow evening. When we had those tornadoes on Valentine's Day, those numbers were 300, 400, 500 plus. So that just gives you an idea of the differences between what we're expecting tomorrow and what we're and what would happen on Valentine's Day. Now, still, you could certainly get a very quick spin-up tornado under these conditions, but again, I would expect, even if that were to occur, nothing to the extent of what we had on Valentine's Day. Now, something that the setup does have going for us is a little bit of instability. That's the dotted pink line on that screen, and you'll notice that there's a little bit of area between the red line, the temperature line as you go up, and that pink line. That means there's a bit of instability in the atmosphere, and that is something that provides another reason for us that I do think we are going to see showers and thunderstorms take place. There will be instability to take advantage of for these storms, but fortunately the ability for them to rotate is not going to be as strong as they were 2 weeks ago. So that is something we have going for us. But regardless, we are going to see those rain chances increase. I do think it's going to be Saturday evening, tomorrow evening into Sunday morning. That's going to be the highest chance of rain, especially north of I-10. I do think that's where we see probably some of the heavier downpours and thunderstorms tomorrow and tomorrow night. But as we talked about before, we're not done talking about rain chances quite yet. They look a bit lower Monday into Tuesday of next week. We could have a few spotty showers around. Wednesday into Thursday next week, that's the more interesting scenario, because we'll have another cold front trying to move on through. This cold front may be a little bit stronger than the one that's going to move through this weekend. So if you take a look at the larger scale model, it shows that front. It shows what could easily be another line of showers and storms heading our way. And it is also entirely possible there could be a couple strong to severe thunderstorms that go around as well. So as we get into the next few days, we'll get into range of our short-term models. We'll be able to give you more details on what we can expect next Wednesday into Thursday, and we'll keep you posted here on TV and online. Of course, we never want severe weather, but at least we would be getting rain because we still have that drought that we're going to contend with. But that's the middle of the week. As a bonus, if there's a bit of a good part to the forecast this weekend, if you want another extra hour of daylight, well, this weekend, this is when we turn the clocks forward 1 hour. That's at 2 a.m. Sunday on March 8th, though. This Sunday, the daylight saving time begins. The old sunrise and sunset times are on the left, so Saturday the sunset is at 6:15. On Sunday, the sunset's at 7:16, so that is another reason, another way that we can measure us getting even closer and closer to spring if the 70 to 80 degree temperatures haven't done that already. As far as our sunrise times go, it'd be about 6:30 tomorrow morning, but 7:30 on Sunday morning. So that's the other thing we're tracking this weekend. Don't forget to turn back the clocks. Of course, a lot of them are digital at this point, but for those clocks in your cars or on your ovens or your stoves, yeah, definitely don't forget about those. So the bottom line is this: we are going to be here tomorrow night to track those showers and storms. A couple strong to severe ones could be in the mix. Again, we're not expecting a repeat of what we had on Valentine's Day, but even still, it's going to be a good idea to stay weather aware in the event any weather warnings are issued tomorrow night. If that happens, if any tornado warnings are to be issued, we'll be on TV to cover them. And then Sunday, again, morning rain, maybe a bit better looking in the afternoon. Lower rain chances Monday into Tuesday. That front moves through Wednesday and Thursday. That gives us another round of showers and storms, and maybe some cooler air behind it, but more seasonable temperatures down into the mid-70s next weekend. Nothing bitterly cold. But that wraps up this First Alert Weather Extra. Wade is going to be in during the evening hours on the next edition of First Alert Weather Extra at 5 o'clock. He's going to go over everything and a little bit more of the recent data that we'll have. We'll be here tomorrow night to keep an eye on things. But until then, have a very good Friday, and we'll see you then.